There are two students sitting the same maths exam. Same teacher, same textbook, roughly the same number of hours revised. One walks out having aced it. The other walks out saying the paper was unfair, that the questions were nothing like what they'd practiced. Here's what actually separated them, and it isn't raw talent. It's that one of them practiced in a way that matched what the exam demands, and the other practiced in a way that felt productive but didn't transfer. Because here's the uncomfortable truth about maths. Rereading your notes, watching someone else solve problems, and copying out worked examples all feel like studying. They generate a powerful sense of familiarity. But familiarity isn't the same as being able to produce a solution, alone, under time pressure, on a question you've never seen before. That's a completely different skill, and it's trainable. In this video, I'll give you 5 specific things to do. 3 that change how you prepare, and 2 that change what you do in the exam hall itself. Stay to the end, because the 5th one is where most marks are quietly thrown away. Let's diagnose the real problem first. When students say a paper was too hard, what usually happened is one of 2 things. Either they couldn't work out which method the question wanted, or they knew the method but made small errors under pressure. Notice that neither of those is about not knowing the maths. Here's why that happens. Most people revise topic by topic. You do a chapter on quadratics, then 20 quadratics questions in a row, and you get them right. But you never once had to work out that it was a quadratics question, because the heading told you. That's called blocked practice, and it creates what researchers call an illusion of competence. You feel fluent because you're just repeating a procedure. Then the exam arrives, questions come in random order with no labels, and suddenly you have to identify the type before you can even start. That identification step is the one skill you never practiced. So the fix isn't more hours. It's changing what those hours look like. Let's start there. Strategy 1. Stop practicing in blocks. Mix your problems up. This is called interleaving, and the research behind it is genuinely striking. In one study, students who practiced mixed problem sets scored 61% on a delayed test, while students who practiced the same problems in blocks scored 38%. In another, the interleaved group nearly doubled the blocked group score a month later. Same problems, only the order changed. Here's how to do it. Instead of doing 20 questions on one topic, build a set of 15 questions drawn from 5 different topics, deliberately shuffled so no 2 consecutive questions use the same method. Now you have to ask the question the exam actually asks. What kind of problem is this? Be warned about one thing. Interleaving feels worse. You'll get more wrong, you'll work slower, and it will feel less productive than blocked practice. That discomfort is the mechanism working. Researchers call it a desirable difficulty. Blocked practice makes you feel good today. Interleaving makes you good in the exam. Strategy 2. Retrieve instead of review. Here's a test you can run tonight. Close your notes, take a blank sheet of paper. Write down every formula and method for one topic from memory, then check what you missed. That uncomfortable, effortful process of pulling information out of your brain is retrieval practice, and it builds far more durable memory than putting information in by rereading. The principle for maths is simple. Every study session should be mostly you producing solutions, not you watching solutions. So when you use a worked example, and you should, use it properly. Read the problem, close the book, and attempt it yourself first. Get stuck, then look at just the next line. Cover it again, and continue. Never read a solution start to finish and conclude that you understood it. Understanding someone else's solution is dramatically easier than generating your own, and confusing the two is probably the single most common revision mistake in maths. Add spacing to this. Revisit topics days apart rather than cramming them into one session. Forgetting a little, then retrieving it is what makes it stick. Strategy 3. Do full past papers under real exam conditions. Not questions, papers. Timed, in one sitting, no notes, no phone, no pausing to check an answer. Here's why this is non-negotiable. Everything about an exam that isn't the maths itself, The time pressure, the pacing decisions, the adrenaline, the effect of one bad question on your concentration for the next 20 minutes is a separate skill, and the only way to train it is to rehearse under the same conditions. Do at least 3 or 4 full papers before the real one. Then do the part almost everyone skips. Mark it yourself, honestly, against the official mark scheme. The mark scheme is the most underrated document in existence because it tells you exactly where marks are awarded, often for intermediate steps you might not have bothered writing down. Learning to think like the marker is worth a surprising number of marks. And through all of this, keep an error log. Every mistake, one line. What the question was, what you did wrong, and the correction. Then reread it before the exam. Most people make the same handful of mistakes repeatedly, and simply knowing your own pattern is enormously powerful. Strategy 4, and now we're in the exam hall. How you navigate the paper matters as much as what you know. Start with a scan. Spend the first 2 minutes flipping through the whole paper, seeing what's there and roughly how hard each question looks. This kills surprises and lets your brain start working in the background. Then work out your pacing budget. Total minutes divided by total marks gives you roughly how long each mark is worth. Check yourself against that budget every 20 minutes or so. Now, the most important habit, do the easy questions first. Go through and take everything you can solve quickly. This banks marks, builds momentum, and settles your nerves. Hard questions do not carry bonus points for being attempted in order. And set a hard rule for getting stuck. If you've made no real progress in a few minutes, mark the question, move on, and come back. Students lose enormous numbers of marks by burning 15 minutes on one stubborn problem and then running out of time on 3 easy ones they'd have got right. Leaving a question is not giving up. It's a decision to come back with a fresh perspective. Strategy 5. Write for the marker. And this is where those quiet marks are lost. Maths exams almost always award method marks, which means a solution that's set up correctly but arrives at the wrong number can still score most of the available marks, and a bare answer with no working, even a correct one, can lose them. So show you're working, clearly, in order, going down the page. If your work can't be followed, it can't be credited. 3 specific habits. First, if you're stuck, still write down the relevant formula and set up the equation. Getting to a correct setup often earns real marks on its own. Second, always finish the actual question asked. Include units, round as instructed, and if it asks you to interpret the answer in context, write that sentence. Third, sanity check every answer. Does this number make sense? A negative length, a probability above 1, a speed of 10,000 kilometers an hour? These are free marks recovered just by looking. And reserve the last 10 to 15% of your time for review. Check the questions you flagged as uncertain, rather than rechecking the ones you were confident about. So let's put it together. In the weeks before, mix your practice across topics, retrieve rather than review, and sit full-timed papers marked against the mark scheme with an error log running throughout. In the hall, scan the paper, budget your time, take the easy marks first, move on when you're stuck, and show every step of your working. The night before, sleep properly. Sleep consolidates memory, and being rested beats 1 more hour of cramming almost every time. Now, the mistake that undoes all of it, panicking at the first hard question and letting it color the rest of the paper. If your mind goes blank, that's not knowledge disappearing. It's stress temporarily blocking retrieval, and it passes. Put the pencil down, take 5 slow breaths, move to a question you can do, and come back. That reset takes 30 seconds and routinely saves entire papers. And remember what a hard paper actually means. It's hard for everyone in that room. Grade boundaries move. Your job isn't to be perfect, it's to collect every mark you're capable of collecting. Start with 1 interleaved practice set this week and 1 past paper this weekend. If this helped, subscribe, and good luck in your exam.